What's good, everyone? This is your boy DJ's Raw and Cut Truth, giving you that raw content that you deservedly need. All praise to the Most High, and I hope everyone is doing well in this wonderful Tuesday. Make sure your vibrations are clear, positive energy, and let's go. So today we're going to talk about Larsa Pippen. This woman, man, she can't she can't stop for some reason. She's what, 46 years old, and she wants to live out her quote unquote whole dream. She wants to sleep around younger men. She could do whatever she wants. But as a mother of what, four kids, why in the hell are you messing around with children around your son's age? And I know a lot of people are going to say that Larsa Pippen, she could do what she wants. She's grown. Yes. But there's levels to this. Would you want your mother doing what Larsa Pippen is doing? Parading herself around, going on Instagram, taking, uh, you know, revealing pictures all through the web. Now, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to judge Bronny for liking her pic. He's a young man. He's growing. It was weird because he's supposed to be friends with Scottie Pippen Jr., but let me digress. It's still a young man. You know how it is. So I don't fault Bronny for that. But Larsa Pippen, man, she's an embarrassment. And Scottie, I don't know if she has anything on Scottie or she could blackmail Scott. I don't know what it is, but for Larsa to keep doing what she's doing and to keep his last name, embarrassing his last name, his history, uh, everything about Scottie Pippen, it's odd to me, man. Yeah, CA3 says Larsa is a teenager in a 40-year-old's body. Yes, she is. She doesn't want to grow up and become wiser for some reason. She wants to do the same thing that she keeps doing, tricking around, messing with young guys, but she thinks it's normal. You know what's funny? She had a tweet, but she deleted it. She was talking about men doing the same thing she's doing. Here's the difference. Why would a woman want to do what a man does? Just because one man may mess with a young 20-year-old doesn't mean you should do the same thing. Just keeping it real with y'all. And I'm sending the link. I want you guys to chop it up. We got DZ King in the house. Shout out to DZ King. He says snakes would not be tolerated. Yep. No snakes invited on the show. This is a peaceful channel. This is a brotherhood, and we will not tolerate any snakes, man. No negative energy here. Shout out to the brother True the King, man. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Oh, I got True the King and DZ King. Oh, bruh. What's good, my brothers?
What up, DJ? How you doing?
What up, man?
What up? What up, DJ? What up, True the King?
Good, man. Question, and I'm gonna start with True the King. What do you think about Larsa Pippen being 40 plus years old, and for some reason she's not growing up? She's embarrassing her son. There's no respect nowadays. What do you think about what she's doing?
Midlife crisis situation. She's she always probably been that way. Like I said, DJ Army said in the comments, thirsty. It's probably a combination of a bunch of things. You know what I mean? And it's sad and it shows. You know what I mean? She clearly only cares about the fame and the money and the attention. And it really nothing much is really to say about that. I mean, like she's Like I mean, like it's crazy situation when you got your sons got to even got to call you out on your foolishness. You know what I mean? What you're doing. So it's like she's out of pocket for the stuff she's been doing, and I don't know, man. It's just a sad situation. Like,
Yeah, man. It's definitely sad, and the people who are saying she's grown, she could do what she wants, they gotta understand when you have kids, when you have a family, even if she's divorced to Scotty, you have a responsibility of being an example to them.
You have a
So,
family, even if she's divorced, got it. You have a responsibility.
yeah, make sure I'm not in the background. Whoever just came in, CA3, what you think, brother?
Oh man, it's just sad, man. When you look at it, you like you have what she has like what 4 kids, 4 or
Yeah,
5
four
kids.
kids.
I mean, you can't be doing that, man. These kids they gotta go out in public and be with their friends. They gotta go to school, man. These kids I mean they want. I'm sure they wish their mother wasn't in the airways so much, man, because they want to go places in peace instead of being looked at as you know instead of being looked at as a child of a problem mother. So and it's a shame. It'd be different if let's say if she was married to Scotty and they never had kids or anything and they were divorced. Sure, you can maybe have more freedom to do what you want, but you out here, man, you got a bunch of kids, man. You're gonna be a horrible example to your kids, man. Like, and it's like it's not like you're young and you're doing this. You're in your mid 40s and you're messing around with all these young men and you're glorifying it like it's okay. And you still can't get your act together even though you're still living out of Scotty's home. And it seems like you gotta know better, man. Like you're still living off of this man, and you're out here acting a fool, man. And your kids got to go on social media and see what people are saying about your mom being with Future, being with guys like Tristan Thompson. Like it's got to be some morals, man, like that you got to follow, man, instead of just keeping on with this behavior. It's sad.
DZ King, what you think
Yeah,
about that?
hey, I agree with everything you brothers have been saying. Like I always say, a lot of these women out here are like, you know, children with breast, pretty much. Um, you know, woman like Larsa Pippen, she's not like she's very mature, and she's still. I think she still thinks that she is 20, 18 years old, and thinks that she can do whatever she wants, um not realizing that, look, you're you're 45 years old, you have kids, you're a mother, but you're making a fool out here, and you're putting a bad name, you know like you're pretty much having a bad reputation, and your sons go to school, and they who knows, I'm pretty sure Scotty's friends are making jokes about him, and that's not cool. So the fact that she's not even thinking about that shows you the type of woman that she is. And I think that as brothers, we have to do a better job at selecting the type of woman that we go out with. Because there's a lot of women out here that are like Scottie Pippen's wife, and that are like Larsa Pippen. We shouldn't think that Scotty is the only one that is going through that. There's a lot of brothers out here that are making the same mistakes. So we have to see that as a as a as a lesson, and see that there's a lot of women like that that are lurking around. Not to say that every single woman out here is like that, but we have to do a better job at selecting the type of woman instead of, we know that, a woman with a lot of great assets, whether it's, whether she got ass and tits, that's fine. That's good. That's beautiful. But at the end of the day, we should vet them more, their personality, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to actually, um, you know, that's how the people are going to look at us. Because now, think about it. People are looking at Scotty right now, and they're like, "Wow, look at your woman out here. Look at what she's doing." No, whether they're divorced or not, and it's we have to do a better job, and it's a shame, man. It's a real shame.
Shout out to DZ King, man. That was some real spill. We got Muhammad Jola. What you got on this topic, my brother?
I don't. I just feel like she's putting like a bad reputation on the Pippen family. Cause like you have to remember she has a son that's in the league right now, and in college basketball, and he's trying to play and trying to make it to the NBA. And like you have your mom out here, doing these types of things, and like he's probably embarrassed. Even Scottie Pippen's embarrassed too to see what his wife is doing.
Yeah, brother. When you're a concubine and you have no values of yourself or your children, I have no respect for that. There's a saying, you are who you sleep with. And when you waste your seed on no good women, these are the results. Yes, I feel sorry for the Pippen kids, but at the same time, Scottie Pippen knew what he was doing when he got with Larsa Pippen. Word on the street is he found Larsa Pippen at a Chicago strip club. I don't know if it's true or not, allegedly. So if that's the case, that tells you the problem. As a man, your responsibility is to give your seed to the rightful woman, a woman that is caring and nurturing, a woman that wants to build a future with you, a woman with direction who is able to listen to your vision. That's who you should attract.
Yeah.
But you keep doing the same process and you keep messing these kids up. It's not right for the kids to grow up in dysfunction. It's never right. Now, we have some people on the panel, they grew up with single mothers, most of them, right? It was not right for them to grow up in an environment like that. They needed two parents to give them a vision.
Yep.
I mean, myself, I grew up in an divided home. Like both my parents had custody over me, luckily. But even still being in a divided home, man, it still affected me for a long time. So
yeah, in CA3, I can attest to that myself. I went through that. Both of my parents were separated, and for a long time, that had an effect on me. I did not know how to, you know, how to react in a lot of situations, how to make the proper decisions, especially with in regards to how women should act and everything. All the advice I got from especially during my teenagers were from my mom. And thankfully when I went to visit my dad and live with him, I had some of that advice. And I think that's the problem. A lot of us are grew up in these type of households, and we need a greater influence from our from our fathers. And our fathers are the ones that are, like DJ said, like you said, like we have to make the right the best decision in inseminating the right woman, because we're the one that carries the seed, not them. And unfortunately, that's what we're going through right now with Larsa.
And also, I got to read. Oh, sorry, brother.
Yeah,
let me read this thing real quick. And after I read it, I'm gonna have CA3 speak. Red Pill Alpha, shout out to Red Pill Alpha. He says, truth, women will cheat with the alpha while the beta gets rules put on him, manipulated. Scotty was the beta in this scenario with Larsa. Yes, Scotty suffers from beta male energy. He used to get pumped around by, before he was Scottie Pippen when he was a rookie, by what's it, Oakley. He used to get bullied by Oakley, and you saw the beta male energy then.
Yep.
Now in this relationship, you're realizing he's a beta in this. For him to not even check Larsa and say, "Hey, you're embarrassing our family's name. This is bigger than us. This is about our children." Now, I don't know what they did behind closed doors, but I doubt that he checked her. CA3, what do you think about that?
Yeah, but yeah, I was gonna talk about that. Sort of shit. Just I'm grateful for kind of going through what I've been. Going through what I've gone through. As a child. I've just kind of just quick story time. I've seen things happen. When I was about 11 years old, man. I saw. You know, I saw a cussy battle, my parents, man. It really took a toll on me, man, for a while. So, and about a year or two later, man, my dad got into another marriage and I ended quickly. So, it kind of just going through all that kind of red pilled me, man. When as I'm getting older, man, just to be aware of the woman you're getting with, man. It's important, especially if you plan on marrying the woman and having kids with that woman, man. It's very important to, have a full understanding of what that woman is, man. It's really important. And don't be a beta and don't let them, dictate every move that happens, man. It's important that you have control as a man, especially. It's very important.
So true, my brother. True to King, uh, why are today's women embracing quote unquote whole culture? Uh, why is it a phenomenon now?
I mean, I don't know because of social media. It just gets promote. It's the mainstream media promotes it. I'm not necessarily sure. To tell you the truth,
Uh, I think it's the social
but
media. It's just a normalization of it.
I think the
Through Instagram and stuff.
mainstream really pushing it for real, for real. In
Yeah,
my opinion.
it's pushing it.
I mean, people like I feel like the people that truly started this movements are, you know, personalities like the Kardashians, for example, that created a pretty much like a movement of all these Instagram models or
Yeah.
thoughts that go on IG, Twitter, and actually promote themselves and show their bodies. And so what will happen is like guys will see that and they're like,
Yeah.
you know what, this is what a woman can offer me, and they don't apart from the physical features, they don't look at, hey, at the personality of these women. Are they, can they offer me respect? Can they offer me a family? Can they offer me the type of peace that I need in my life? Can they
Hmm.
respect me? And they don't see, and I feel like guys do not see them as themselves as the prize, and because they did not see themselves as the prize, they accept anything that comes to them. So the the perfect 10, physically, that will come to them is, they will just take that, and they'll be like, I don't care about anything else, let me just skate in her and she gets my baby, and that's it. And that's the problem. It's like we just don't value ourselves as men, and this is what happened in Scotty's situation, unfortunately. I mean, it may have been back in the 80s or 90s, but the same thing still applies today, and I think that today it even got worse. But I think it's
Yeah.
just the emergence of social media and a lot of these glorification of just the woman that actually, it's actually plaguing our communities, and it's plaguing the men today.
Hmm.
Yeah, Big Spell One is right. Feminism, aka third wave feminism,
Yep.
has ruined any type of women's rights, and it's now embracing thought culture. It's crazy out here. You got to be careful with who you lay down with, because if you do it, it's going to be a nightmare for 18 years. You're going to be paying child
Yeah.
support like 90 going north.
Yep.
The courts don't care about men. Do you know that men are leading in depression? because of all the child support and extra responsibility of
Yeah.
bad decisions. It's hurting us mentally,
Yes.
physically, and spiritually. We got FYL sports debate on the line. What's good, my brother?
What up?
What you think on the topic?
Man, here's the thing, man. I think it, like I said, my thing is when I look at these situations like this, man, I like to look at like where is this like culture really coming from? And if we really be honest with ourselves, it comes from the men. Because for one, the men, it used to be a point in time, like if you grew up in the early 90s, 80s, where women were more covered up, they didn't show as much skin.
Yeah.
And then what happened was in the music that we listen to and some of the stuff that we perpetuate, we perpetuate this this type of culture where it started to be okay for men to jump around from women to women, having multiple baby mamas and this, that, and the other. And so the women is just doing the same thing the men was doing. They just following the man's lead. And on top of the fact that we empowering the women to do this, because she wouldn't be acting like this if there wasn't a line of men, if it wasn't a line of men waiting on her. She can jump from man to man. She can jump from Future to the next NBA player to the next NBA player because they lining up for her. Just like we in the era where you got OnlyFans. Like women are making money off of this because of who's buying all these who's buying all these OnlyFans memberships is men. Who's empowering them to act like this is men. Like if you don't empower them to act like that, they have no reason to act like that. If we basically monetized it to be a thought. They can be thoughts because we allowed them to monetize it. And they making so much money off of it now, now cash is king. If you the cash cow, you hold all the power. Now you're gonna have everybody following you, chasing you, clout chasing this, that, and other. I think it starts with us, man. It's the same thing with the black community. I think all of our problems start with us. And I mean, like I said, I'm not saying what she's doing is right. But I mean, at the end of the day, the problem starts with us. Like we got to look back at ourselves. If we really want to see this type of behavior change, then we need to stop monetizing the thought behavior. Like we the ones that, we the ones that allow them to make money and get fame and clout off of it. And so we're gonna continue to see it happen until as a community, men just kind of step up and be like, nah, we ain't really condoning this no more. You ain't about to capitalize off this no more. But I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. It's sad, but it's true.
Hey, True the King, your mic is low.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can
hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, yeah, like Lamont said, man. I mean, it starts with us really though, because like if we draw the line, that wouldn't be cool. You know what I mean? We gotta have a point where we have to dictate what's okay and what's not okay. You know what I mean? Like it gotta be a line where it's like, all right, like at the end of the day, I mean, you can do what you want to do, but at the same time, it's like don't do it because it's the money and the clout. That's what it is, really, though. Because like that's why it's so quick to do this type of stuff. You know what I mean? Because the clout and the money. Now, if that stops, whatever the case may be, you won't really see this type of behavior. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to them. Because like Laura Pippen can be with any basketball player she wants to be, with rapper, whatever the case may be. And that stops, she probably wouldn't be doing all that.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like a line gotta be crossed where certain things. I mean, it's like a line gotta be crossed because like it gets ridiculous now though.
Yeah.
And let me say this: I grew up with a 2-parent home, strong father. He didn't play at all, and a mother who knew how to be a mother. So I've seen it. One thing I noticed, and this is the answer to Lamont's, the number one problem is not men, it's beta males. Beta males allowed the excuses to go rampant. They allow the thought culture to be expounded on. They're the ones that go on social media and say she could do whatever she wants, but they don't realize you are who you surround yourselves with. It's something that our parents tell us when we were young. Whoever you surround yourself with, that's who you're going to be. That's the reason why they tell us to be careful who you surround yourself with. So, what do you know about Larsa Pippen's history? She used to hang out with the Kardashians. They were great friends because they're both Armenian. So, she always wanted to have the whole culture in her. She complained about marriages and everything else. So, now that she's divorced from Scotty, she felt the freedom to trick around and to mess with any type of young man known to man. So much so, she messed with a Malik Beasley, who is not far from the age of her son, Scottie Pippen Jr. Any mother who does that has no conscience, no spirit, no values. And that's what's wrong. Attention, clout, wanting to be seen, and want to do something because somebody else is doing it. Copycats.
Yep.
No, I feel you. I feel you there. See, but see, with me, again, I just feel like, because again, I can break it down with just the black community. Like, it's too many. Like, when you said it's men, like you said, you separate yourself from beta males. At the end of the day, I think we still talking about males. A male's a male. Beta, alpha, you can label it however you want. Male, men are men, period. And he can act a certain way, he can be this way. Like you got men running around saying they alpha. How do we know you alpha? Like where's the measuring stick to make you alpha just because you say you alpha? Like where's the measuring stick to say you beta because you say he beta? Like if there's really no measuring stick to label it, then we gotta just say, you know what? This is our responsibility. This is our problem because at the end of the day, when you're looking at like the women have a natural inclination to follow, especially as a man, and the right man, and there's the right man for every woman out there, and that's what they do. So what they doing is they following men. It's alpha. It's alpha. It's men who say they alpha out there, but they running around out there with 9 baby mamas. All right. There's men who say they alpha out there, but got 6 girlfriends. You know, it's men who alpha out there that's in jail and ain't taking that care of their kids. Like what's alpha? What like who determines what's alpha? And so until we can get a real definition of what's alpha and what's not, let's just all take the blame for this. Because at the end of the day, we perpetuated this culture of being thoughts because the first thoughts that ever existed was men. We promoted it in our music. We promoted it in movies, jumping from women to women, multiple baby mamas, da 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 da. We promoted it, and so now when the shoe is getting flipped, now it's because of beta males that allowed it. No, it was men as an entirety. We allowed it, and it just got out of control. And it got out of control because they did it better than we did because now they monetized it. Now they got OnlyFans, and now they got Instagram, and they can make millions of dollars off doing it. So now they got even more motivation to continue that type of behavior. See, and that's where I think that's where the problem lies right there.
But brother Lamont, we can't say men started this whole thing, through music and everything else when prostitution has been around for thousands of years. The
Would
whole
be no
culture,
prostitution if the men didn't buy it.
yes, most
Is that
men
a
buy it.
beta?
And some,
Is that a beta male who buys it, or is that an alpha male who buys
see, Lamont, I get
it? You
what you're
see,
saying. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, every man is different. Every man has a code, and some man doesn't have a code. Here's the thing: we can't say that all men allow thoughts to do what they want. That's not true. Real men who have structure in their lives, we all know they don't allow that shit to happen. That stuff that Larsa Pippen does, that wouldn't work in strong households. Everyone in this panel knows that. And for her to parade around embarrassing her kids and Scotty just not doing anything. That shows you that Scotty, I mean, he doesn't wear the pants in the family. It's pretty evident because that stuff, that type of shit, does not fly in most households. I've seen tough households.
Can I
I've
ask you a
seen it.
question? I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you a question. And my question is this: we, this is why I never spoke on this topic on my channel, because I don't know what's going on in that household. What's Scottie Pippen doing? Like, the thing is, like, she spent all this time with this man, and then all of a sudden, now over the last couple of years, we hear about her being a thought, jumping from rapper to rapper and basketball player to basketball player. Is this a learned behavior because maybe she watched Scotty do it over the course of his entire NBA career? Or you say she was hanging out with the Kardashians, okay, I mean, maybe she learned it from the Kardashians, but at the end of the day, what we doing is we labeling Scotty as a beta male. One, we acting like we know what's going on in that household. I don't even know what type of marriage they had. They might have had an open marriage. He might have allowed her to go out and get some every now and then and come back home. There's some weird marriages out there, but we don't know what's going on in that household. And for us to just really jump in on that topic, we can only judge her based on the stuff that we see her doing publicly with Future. I'm not about to vilify Scottie Pippen because I don't know what he's done to her. I don't know how he's led his household. I don't know how he's raised his kids. I don't know if he's beta or alpha. I don't know if anybody's beta or alpha. I just know that it's not just Larsa. She's not like she is less than 1% of the thought community. She's less than 1%. It's a whole bunch of other women out here doing it that don't have a Scotty that don't have a husband named Scottie Pippen. So is it us as us as an entire community of men, right? That where we condoned this so long, it got out of hand, and now we don't know what to do with it, or are we gonna try to find ways to just dodge the real problem and not blame ourselves for this? That's what I
I
think
think
it is.
I think at the end of the day, though, like we have to look at it, and I agree with you, but I think at the end of the day, as man, yes, we do take accountability, but at the same time, we have to differentiate um between dealing with a concubine and dealing with just like a proper woman, you know, who has the ability to be a mother. The thing is, what a lot of us men do is that, especially these days, is that we inseminate, concubines and we expect them to be good mothers. And that doesn't turn out to be the case. And we don't make the proper decisions when that happens. So I think as men, we can definitely do a better job at choosing the right woman and not expecting a concubine to be like a mother and act differently. We cannot change them. They can only change themselves at the end of the day.
And let me add on to that. My late father, when he was alive, he used to always tell me, "Son, there's different type of people. There's different type of women. Uh, do not turn a hoe into a housewife. There's a difference between a woman and a hoe." And that advice helped me to get away to not committing any just wrongful decisions. Now, Lamont, someone has a point of most men, some men making bad decisions with women, and that could be at fault. But Larsa Pippen is a grown woman. Just because Scotty may have, messed around doesn't mean you have to do it. That's like if I was married to some woman for a couple years, right? She's cheating on me. We divorce. Doesn't mean with the next wife I have, I cheat on her because my ex-wife cheated on me. That kind of thinking point is what ruins the whole family structure. I
Yeah.
do wrong because she done wrong. She does wrong because she does wrong. It doesn't work like that. And CA3, what you think?
Um, you know, I mean, yeah, my dad, he gave me some advice, always stuck with me. My dad has some, just, my dad has some relationship issues as I was growing up, with my biological mom, that they had some that they divorced, and and he had another marriage that didn't end up going well. And my dad always told me, man, like the reason, just learn from what I did and don't do what I did. And a lot of the issues that happened were because he probably wasn't as strong as he could be, and that's why a lot of the issues kind of happened. And I kind of learned from that, just growing up. And I think as I'm growing up, it will help me moving forward with a lot of situations. So definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah, real life experiences, man. And shout out to all the fathers out there, man. All the fathers who are listening, you are appreciated. It's not easy, but you make a difference. And even though the law and America and the world are against fathers most of the time, it just makes it even more proud to know that throughout the adversity of today's society, to see fathers raising their kids is such a joy to see. That's why every kid out there deserves a father in their lives. It makes a difference. I'm the
Definitely.
first one to say, if I did not have my father, I don't know, I probably would have been on the streets hustling or doing something I shouldn't be doing.
Mhm.
But it saved me. And my mother, for her being a mother to me, let me repeat that, a mother to me, self-respect, that helped me as well. Because I know what a good woman looks like. If I didn't have a good mother, shoot, most likely be tricking around. Both things are important.
It
Let me
is
say
important.
something.
Yeah.
G Sosa in the chat said, "Why am I taking up for Larsa? I'm not taking up for no Larsa. I don't take up for anybody who publicly puts that type of behavior out there." And now she has her son's head. Because I know the stuff that's said in locker rooms when you in college. I know the stuff that's said. I know the jokes that's thrown around. And I know it's probably getting to him, especially with him being in college playing D1 basketball. So I know the stuff that he's going through. So I'm definitely not taking up for the stuff. All I'm saying is, if we look into, like, are we just going to talk about the problem, or are we going to look to find a way to really fix this problem for the long term? The only way we fix it for the long term is we get to the source of it. And I think the source of it starts with men, not beta men, not alpha men. It starts with all men. You
Yeah.
can't separate them. You can't not split them up. You get to a point where you just got to put your foot down and be like, you know what, beta or alpha, we got it. This like, you imagine if all men went on a OnlyFans boycott. You know
Now
how much
you
money?
talk.
But what I'm saying is,
Now you
hold on. But
talk.
what I'm saying is this: you know how much money would be lost? You know how many women would? Oh, okay. Well, if this ain't profitable no more, I may have to change the way I act. Like the thing is, I told you, the problem with what's going on now is not that these women are acting like this, that they've done it better than men, because now they found a way to monetize it and make not just 20,000, they're making hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars off this. When you look at the Selena
Yeah.
Powells and all these women out here who are going, like, look at the girl who just ran through a couple of the Phoenix Suns players, even though that story wasn't completely accurate. Just by her putting that story out there or being a thought, she overnight became a millionaire. She overnight became a millionaire with her OnlyFans. But that's because you got men, alpha or beta, however you want to classify it, going to that OnlyFans and purchasing. So what I'm saying is, we the ones incentivizing it. See, we can't go buy somebody OnlyFans and then turn around and be like, oh, I'm mad at Larsa. Because out of all the people in the chat that's mad at me for what I'm saying, I guarantee you some of them have purchased somebody's OnlyFans. You see what I'm saying? So that's part of the problem. And it hurts. Like, how many times, ask these guys how many times they went to Pornhub, how many times they went to all these porn sites, incentivizing this type of behavior. How many times how many times you scrolling through IG pages and you didn't hit an IG model and you didn't like her photo, right? Think about that before before you start coming for Larsa Pippen, because again, if you part of the problem, then that's why I say you got to start with yourself, because you incentivizing the behavior. That's all I'm saying.
Right? You go to strip clubs, you know what I mean, throwing ones out there. You know what I mean? Listen, man, we don't got nothing to talk, man. I mean, it's being real. Like I don't know, it's like it gets tricky because every alpha, the alpha male, beta male conference, it gets tricky because we don't exactly know we because everybody's not the same.
Yeah.
For one,
Yeah.
everybody not the same. Like two, you can say, well, quote unquote, two alpha males ain't gonna be the same. They got different values on certain things,
I think
or quote unquote, or two beta males, whatever the case may be, or I don't know. It gets tricky. So it's really like we got to stop. We got to fix it. Because in the day, it's like I mean, I don't know. Like it starts with us. Because if we just cut the money off, I mean, it wouldn't be a problem. The monetization of hoeing is real, man. I mean, this is what it is. I
I
mean,
think
it's like it's glorified now because of it. Because you make it so because that's why it's so glorified now. Because people making money off. When people making money off it, it's like you can't tell me what. And other people like, oh, you can't tell me nothing. You know what I mean? At that point, people are.
Right. That's why. That's why you can't tell Larson nothing. That's why you
Wait,
can't
wait,
tell
wait,
him
wait. That's the problem. That's the problem. I gotta say this. You can't
the
tell.
money.
Scotty could tell Larsa something. Scotty could tell her, look, Larsa, you've been an embarrassment. You're on headlines. You're embarrassing our children. The shit's got to stop. That's what a father would do. I don't know how. That's why I said all men are different. How they handle their family. Most
True
good
though. So
men, y'all know, most good men with strong fathers, they're not putting up with that thought culture shit. They're just not. And the reason why Scotty's not doing it, he's never been the guy. You can look at basketball court rumors. He's never been the guy that, little raise your voice at times. Put the foot down. He's never been that guy. And I got Revolution Radio. Brother, what do you think about this topic?
I think it's a great topic, man. And even though, you know what I'm saying, me and FYF, we be going at it, bro. The brother's entitled to his opinion, you know what I'm saying? So I know we clowning in the chat a little bit, but it's my perspective on it, man. Look, like we gotta stop playing, man. Like, first off, it's not this big conglomerate of men. You got white men, you got black men, you got Asian men, you know what I'm saying? You got Jewish individuals, Muslim individuals that are men. People got different ethnic, different beliefs or morals when it comes to certain things. So if you ever think that all men are gonna sit here one day and say, I'm not buying box or I'm not going to the strip club, that's not gonna happen. The problem isn't the men. The problem is, first off, you got to study the feminist movement and the reason why it was started. Second off, you got to look at the fact that
no packages were delivered here, were they? Okay, that means no. I was asking.
Who's that?
Hold on, I ain't hear. Somebody, mom's is in the background.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. So, yeah, also, sex sells. And sex has been selling for the longest, like Big Spell One was saying, man. The real reason why this is allowed, because you did have a lot of men 5 or 10 years ago, we can't cap on this, that were coming out and speaking against this kind of behavior. And what happened, you start having the Amber Rose slut walk. You start having a lot of people with a lot of power that started to say those men had prehistoric mindsets. And they were made to feel as though for criticizing that type of behavior, they were in the wrong, to the point where a lot of brothers don't even speak up on it anymore because they don't want to feel like they're stepping on women's empowerment. At the end of the day, this is on Larsa Pippen. Ain't got nothing to do with who buying our OnlyFans. People are consumers. They can buy whatever they want. But it's up to you as a person to be morally upstanding. All money ain't good money. This we know. You know what I'm saying? So her lack of ethics or her lack of morals has nothing to do with the fan base that's buying it. Of course, it's incentivized, but some of us are from the urban community, and it was incentivized at some point in our life, some of our life, to sell crack, to sell drugs, to take another route. But some of us decided not to do that because of the morals that were within us. And a lot of these women, let's just keep it real, they're capitalizing on the fact that they know if you critique this kind of behavior, that in this day and age, that's not cool, because it seems like you're trying to keep a woman from doing what she wants to do. If Larsa Pippen wants to live her life that way, it's on her. But we have the right to critique it and say it's not right. And you know what I'm saying? I don't buy OnlyFans and I don't go to strip clubs, and I'm not, I'm not really saying anything bad about anyone that does, but I don't think that matters when it comes to an individual making that decision to put their son in that situation. I think FYF did bring up a good point when he said, as far as Scotty's relationship and Larsa's relationship, we really don't know the inner workings of it. But okay, that's on them. But the buck stops when the kids are getting affected. You know what I'm saying? And right now, it seems like the children are really being affected based off some of the things that Scottie Pippen Jr. was saying on Twitter.
All right, we got Dante on the line. What you think, brother?
Yeah, I don't really know anybody's name, so forgive me. But somebody was talking about it's really the man's problem, and a couple people seem to get offended. I agree that it's the man's problem. This is something that's gone back to Adam and Eve. See the story of Adam and Eve, where Eve goes off and eats the fruit. Adam's response to that, and I'm using this reference because I'm a Christian, and I've watched a couple of the videos before this where y'all reference the Most High. So I feel like I'm in a group of people who believe in the Bible, but the response that Adam had after Eve supposedly made him eat the fruit was, he told God, "It's not my fault, it's that woman you made." So that sort of lack of accountability, lack of taking responsibility, is still going on in 2020. Women are what men make of them. Whatever kind of man you are, that's going to determine the kind of woman you have. If you frivolous with money, if you bad with money, your girl gonna be bad with money. If you lazy, your girl gonna be a loafer. If you work hard, your girl gonna work hard. And that's dependent on if you got a girl to love you. But a lot of us, we so busy on this alpha versus beta. We trying to get the most pussy as possible. We're not trying to be good men. So I think it really goes down to the fact that men dropped the ball a long time ago. And so now we got women who didn't even have fathers in their lives, and men who didn't even have fathers in their lives, and they on social media getting taught how to be a man from people who are, like, incentivized and don't want to teach them how to be a true man. I see stuff every day where it's like, you tough if you wear black Air Force Ones. Next thing you know, everybody bringing back black Air Force Ones. Like, I see how people read these, whatever's trending on Twitter or whatever's trending on the internet, and cater their behavior towards that. Popular girl tweet, men who wear great Jordans. I saw a girl tweet, quiet men have big dicks. And I promise you, there's some people who saw that tweet and didn't talk for the next day. They wanted to convince somebody that they're dealing with right now. So until men get their stuff together, I don't know how you could even expect. Like, you expect the women to lead?
Hey, Dante, I gotta say this. I have to say this. Here's the thing: you're blaming all men. That's
every man.
You gotta go back. Look at the 70s.
Okay.
Before the 70s, the stats show black families were together more. There was structure, and then the feminist movement came along and ruined it. That's what started. We're talking about today's thought culture. We already know that tricking around has been around for thousands of years. It's on the books. But we're talking about what started this thought culture. And no one can dispute that it started through the 70s feminist movement. There were anti-man, anti-black fathers, anti-fatherhood, anti-emasculation. And that's why I believe kids are suffering, young boys are suffering from chronic emasculation, being told that they ain't shit, they're men, they would never be it. That goes on a lot now because society has allowed it. This is something we don't teach our kids. How being a man is a badge of honor, is strength. It's learning how to lead. Men need leadership. When they don't have a leadership in their home, they're ran around. They get
Violent.
abused by their wives. Women are abusing men more. They're hitting their men. They're hitting their husbands. Y'all hear the stories. So we can't go around saying, "Oh, it's the man's fault. He's the one. He's the problem." We gotta look at it all. Yes, we could blame those type of men who allow it to go on. And Lamont was right. It takes discipline. Sometimes you gotta leave that OnlyFans alone. Sometimes you gotta leave the strip club alone and prioritize what you're looking for. Clean your mind up. Cleanse your mind.
Yeah.
So we got Fahara in the building. What you think, Fahara?
Hey, how y'all brothers doing?
Good.
Good, man.
What's good, man?
Great. I'm not too familiar with the story. I just been listening to y'all. I guess I dropped the ball on this situation. I don't really be into the datings of the players. I just pretty much be into the game. But the situation seems like is that him and her got divorced. Was this before they got divorced, or is this a reason why they got divorced? Like, is it?
Well, they're divorced now.
Okay. All right, and she's running around right now. I guess that's the issue.
Yeah, we're young brothers.
Okay. Well, I can say this by me knowing very, very little about the situation. Is she a public figure?
Yeah.
Okay. Once she grown, and she's welcome and able to do whatever she want to do, and especially if she's not a culture, I can understand certain things going forth or going by, or her doing certain things a different way than women of culture, or she like doing the same thing as women of culture. Like, that's what I'm saying. The conversation is really needed, but understanding what's going on, I think, is the main thing for me. I believe that if she's a public figure and she's out there and she's doing stuff, and I heard about the OnlyFans, so I don't know if she have one, but if she does, or if she just dating young brothers, she open to it. Not to say that it's right or wrong. That's why we're having this conversation. To me, to a point, I don't even believe in right or wrong. I believe in positive and negative. Because even in your wrong, you can get the biggest message out of it. So when it comes to her, I see that she's out here doing her thing. She probably, a lot of people that do that after getting divorced are normally stuff they wanted to do anyway, but they couldn't because they were married. They were in a situation, and that allowed they kind of want to honor it, or they didn't want to be public about it if they were doing it because of the marriage. So I think every man and woman should respect themselves. Now that's first and foremost. But we gotta understand what our level of respect is, and what our definition is not the same definition to somebody else. Everybody think differently. Everybody's supposed to have their own mind. I just don't believe that God is a creator. He created all of us to think the exact same thing. I think all of us supposed to think differently and make our own choices based off of what the creator created, which is us, and us with the brain to think differently. So if she out there and she doing her thing, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that I live in a life right now where I was pretty much unhappy, my whole life. So if people putting themselves in situations that don't offend anybody else, and it makes them happy, I want people to be as happy as they can be. Now, if her thing is having her fans on the page or date younger guys, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying if it's something that makes her happy and it's not offending anyone, I can't really I can have an opinion, which I see all of us have opinions, but I can't really just speak on it that tough, because if she's happy and it's not offending anybody, hey, she grown. She can do her own thing. But if she's not a of culture anyway, it's kind of like I don't think it's Scottie Pippen not being a man or anything like that. He probably raises his voice at all the time. You know what I'm saying? But people just gonna do what they want to do. And not saying raising your voice is the answer to it either. Because that's probably one of the reasons you probably doing it. So it's like we don't have the background story, but we do have the place for opinions. So I appreciate you, DJ Raw Cut, for allowing this conversation to go on and opened up your platform for it.
Yeah, yeah. What's up?
Can I
I'll
jump
let you
in?
go. Yeah, I'll let you go in.
I gotta say it, man. Like this is when I clicked on this show, I wasn't expecting the responses I'm getting, and brothers is entitled to their opinion, man. But like, it's weird, man. It's kind of weird because like when we keep saying men, like that doesn't. When you say men, what men are you talking about? When we say okay, it's men that are
All of
doing
them.
this. You know what I'm saying? You can't say all of them because if you're talking about African American men, if we just dealing with facts, the majority of African American men did not get free until 1865. They don't own any corporations. They don't own any networks. They don't do any advertising when it comes to major advertising dollars. We just got the right to vote in the 1960s. So
Oh, that's not true.
that is true.
That black
That is
man
true.
got the right to vote in 1960.
In the 1960s is when we got the right to vote as a
Look
people.
up.
There's a law for that.
Like, what are we talking about? So, but hold on, let me finish this. All I'm saying is when you're dealing with the African American man, he was being called a boy until the 1960s. So these people are supposed to crawl out of slavery and understand how to be a man in 100 years. Not only understand how to be a man, within that 10 years before the women's lib movement, because of what African American men were doing, is the reason why women are damaged. That's not true, brother. It was a ruling class. And a ruling class had an agenda, and they put this agenda in place. And what I think we're seeing right here is the brainwashing of the ruling class. Like, I get offended when brothers be talking
I
about
think so too.
When brothers be talking about, oh, well, first off, we have never been in any control for any legislation or any marketing, anything. So we can't say.
Wait, let the brother speak, man.
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, and it is true, man. Come on, bro. We just saw Bob Johnson and Ice Cube put in a lawsuit with Comcast because they had the money to buy it and they weren't even allowed to buy it. So we know when it comes to marketing at its highest level, we don't even have a say in that. It's not fair to put on the average man the responsibility of the evils of the ruling class. That's brainwashing at its highest order. Now, can we do better on an individual level? Yes, I agree. We should do better on an individual level. But you're still dealing with the immature people who just came out of slavery 150 years ago. So I don't think it's right to shine your light on them. You got to shine your light on these major networks that promote sex, these major networks that promote OnlyFans. Because, okay, let's say as a group of brothers, we all decide to never deal with OnlyFans, never deal with strip clubs. That's not going to stop them from marketing. That's not going to stop them from marketing. They're going to go right over there to the white male. If the white male is buying OnlyFans, and he may not feel the way that we feel. He may not feel there's a problem with this. He's never going to say, I'm a man, I'm unified with you. He's not looking at us like the same. So that to me, it's just weird that we're not attacking the real issue. And the real issue is her decision. That's it. Just like if a dude was doing something to his child that was volatile or wrong and it was affecting his children, it's on the man. We don't need to talk about women and what women are doing. Larsa Pippen got kids. She out here thotting with people half her age. Allegedly, she's in Bronny's DM or Bronny's in her DM. You know what I'm saying? The same brothers that will start telling us about men will turn around and say how R. Kelly was so wrong for the things he did and he's going to have to answer for. But if Larsa Pippen is having a conversation with Bronny James, like Savannah James said, he's a minor. That shit is sick. So we don't need to be discussing about men right now. We talking about these women that even though, yes, they are incentivized to do it, just because you're incentivized to do wrong, that doesn't mean you do wrong. That's my point. The conversation went weird to me, man.
Yeah, and before we go FIF, I want to say, yes, the man needs individual responsibility because every man is different, of course. You know, the way I live my life is different than others. Just like Revolution, just like FIF Sports, we're all different. But to answer for Hara, when he said she's grown, she can do what she wants, I have to say this. She has to think more than herself. She has kids. She has 4 kids. And you wouldn't want your parents doing what Larsa Pippen did. Nobody would. We gotta stop doing this. Well, if we criticize a woman, we're the bad guy. I'm for equal criticism. Man, woman, black, white, I don't give a damn. In this subject, Larsa Pippen was wrong. How she's carrying herself is bigger than her. She's a mother. I know she's trying to live her whole phase, get a side dude, but it's not about her. For once, can she think about her damn kids? For once.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But the thing is that I had to learn words to understand life and the things that go on in life. And when I ran across the word I used for many years as a child and figured out the meaning of it was ignorant. The thing is that when you doing something and you know you don't supposed to be doing it, that's dumb. That's stupid. Those are those words mean. But when you doing something and you don't know that it's a problem, or you don't see how it affects everybody else around you, that's what's called ignorant. My thing is when you're grown and you're making decisions for yourself, like me, people like me and you and all the other brothers on here, we probably think about everybody around us before we make a decision. But everybody don't got that. It's not instilled in everybody. Certain stuff just got to be taught. It's got to be learned. And I'm just saying that there's something that probably wasn't taught. There's probably something that wasn't learned simply because who ain't doing the stuff that she doing?
My wife.
See, that's my thing. Is like she, and the thing is I'm not saying that she get a go because of who she is. No, if people think it's right, people gonna say it's right. If people think it's wrong, they're gonna say it's wrong because it's based off opinion at the end of the day. No, I don't want to see my mama doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. But if my mama decides to live that life, what I'm gonna say? Keep saying, mama, you know you don't supposed to do that. Mama, you don't supposed to be doing that. If that won't make mama happy, I ain't saying I agree with it. But that's just the reality of it. When you grown, you can make your own decisions, even if we think that they right or wrong. That's the reason why we have a brain and a thought and we think different and we like different stuff and like the taste of different stuff. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying based off of the information, she's 18 and up. And it sounds like that she's making her own decisions. So I'm not praising it and I'm not downing it. I'm just saying that it's a time and a place for everything. Evidently, she thought that this is a good time and a good place in her life to live this lifestyle. She may wake up tomorrow or next week and be like, yo, I probably shouldn't have did that. My son getting the business at school. You know what I'm saying? Or my kids, blah, blah. But as a lifestyle, and they were talking about the strip club and it's men's fault, I can't agree with that either. Because it's been, I ain't been to a strip club since the early 2000s. And when I went, I seen more women than I seen men in there. So patronizing it, to me, is not the problem. Men shouldn't patronize and blah, blah. I mean, if you feel like you should, you shouldn't. You know, if you feel like you should, I ain't saying you should, but hey, you open to it. But it's not men, all men at the end of the day. I can't say that all men. I think somebody said all men because I see more women patronizing it than men now.
I don't know what.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because listen, I don't know if you looked around your neighborhood, but it's like as the years go, I see more women with jeans on like mine, shoes on like mine, hoodies on like mine, liking the same type of woman I like. And not saying that ain't been going on since the beginning, because it has. But it's so the world is so much free now. I moved to California when it's regular. Man, I'm from Memphis. You see two dudes walking down the street holding the hand, man. It's like, no, they for the talk about you or whatever. Man, I heard that lifestyle is free, and I'm pretty sure she's living a lifestyle like a lifestyle out here, man. So, like I said, man, I agree with everybody. I don't think nobody's saying something that that's offending each other. You know, everybody just giving their own opinion. That's why I like the platform, man. But at the end of the day, right or wrong, man, she had the choice. She got the choice to make these decisions. And like you said in the 60s, that's when the division happened. That's when a lot of the division happened. But if she ain't a culture, it's like I shouldn't even be having that conversation about her.
I think as a community, as a whole, as all men go, I'm not trying to speak for everybody, but I think like I said, the problem starts with us. I think the problem starts with like nobody values being in the household. They want to have their cake and eat it too, and that's why I say it starts with the men. Like when you look at all these situations where when you know since we talking about athletes, like if we talking about athletes, like guys like Sean Kemp, Jason Caffey, and all it, like these are players. You know, when you talk about like a Sean Kemp,
Kevin Murphy too. I mean, I messed around.
What I'm saying is when you're talking about these athletes, guys like that, like Sean Kemp, 7 kids with 6 women. Yeah. Mike Tyson, he has 8 kids with like 5, 6 different women.
Murphy.
You know, Jason Caffey, 10 kids with 8 women. Travis Henry, 11 kids with 10 women. So my thing is this. So how can you be in the household if you out there, like I say, we don't criticize none of these people. Like we don't we when we talk about Sean Kemp, we always talk about the on the court. He never gets vilified for what he did off the court. Same thing with Muhammad Ali. Same thing with Evander Holyfield. All these athletes, the men who put themselves in situations where they can't be in one household. They can't raise like I don't care who you are. If you got 7, 8 kids with 6 different women, there's no way you can raise those kids right. And whether we talk about these women getting raised right and getting raised by IG and getting raised by the culture. It starts there because we removing ourselves from the household to even do it the right way in the first place. And so, because I know guys, like when I play college basketball, I know guys like when they would get desperate, they knew this girl was about to leave them. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna put a baby in her. I'm gonna put a baby in her just to try to keep her." I knew dudes who would do that, but they had no real intention of being there for the long term. They just wanted to keep her around for the sex. So, again, that's why I say the problem starts with us. Because I see a lot of things that we do that's real shady, that's real stupid, that makes no sense. It makes no sense to run around having 10 kids with 8 women. How does that make sense? And let's not act like we like everybody can go through their own hood and they know a lot of dudes with multiple baby mamas. Let's not even act like this is something that just is not commonplace. This is commonplace, especially in the Black community. So it starts with us, man. We got to fix that. We start fixing stuff like that, then everything else will fix itself. But I'm not about to sit here and blame a woman because I think the women get this idea of doing it on their own because we leave them on their own to do everything by themselves anyway.
Yes.
So when we leave these women on their own to do everything by themselves, and we know guys who've done that, what can you tell them? What can you tell them? You can't tell them nothing. And this is not just in reference to Larsa, like because again, I don't know what's going on in that household that steered her towards this type of lifestyle. So I just know she's living that like type of lifestyle now, and I don't think she would be doing it if she wasn't incentivized to do it. That's what I honestly believe. It revolves around money because she's jersey chasing. She's chasing famous people. It has to do with fame and money. So she's not like she's chasing the guy at the gas station. She's not just hooking up with the random Joes. So she knows what she's doing. Everything that she's doing is calculated. You know, when Kyle Kuzma's baby mom, or not baby mom, but his girlfriend gets mad at him and then jumps on the Tyler Hero, you think that wasn't calculated? You know, I mean, come on, man. Like some of this stuff is just too obvious. But man, to fix it, man, like I said, we can start with us. And I'm not about to sit here and just keep pointing the finger at everybody else. You know, like I mean, feminism has its own problems. That brings its own set of problems. Women, of course, they can make changes too, but the man is at the top of the food chain. Changes got to start there and let it trickle down.
Yeah, I think just to piggyback on what you just said, Lamont, I think accountability goes a long way, and I think mainly us as men, we have to firstly turn to the Most High, because through the Most High we get a lot of the guidance and a lot of the correct correct commandments, so that we're able to apply it to our own lives and make sure we make the right decisions, so that we can lead our household the right way. I think at the same time too, as men, we should stop, kind of um, getting behind a lot of these um, modern day movements that doesn't really benefit our communities, because as we see, I mean, we see a lot of women, getting behind these. For example, personally, I don't feel like the Black Lives Matters movement is anything about black men getting killed by the police. I think they're adding a lot of their own agendas, like the feminist agenda, the LGBTQ agenda, everything, and it's more about you know it's more about pushing feminism and everything. And I feel like us as men, we should stop supporting that, and start actually leading our household, and actually supporting the nuclear family. I think that's where the crux of the issue is, and we have to change that, and make sure that we take responsibility for our actions, and do better.
Yeah, we got to do better, man. And I'm
Yeah.
listening to everyone's parts, and this discussion was definitely needed because we all could pull some things that we
Yeah,
all could be better at.
for sure.
What
But
Lamont
what I was
said. Oh, what you said? CA3.
what I was gonna say. I mean, I think it's like mutual responsibility here. Um, I feel if both men and women, were to stop pointing the finger at each other and just take accountability for the stuff they do or mess up stuff they do, I feel like we would be in a better place right now. I think
So
the problem
true.
right now is, like especially in the black community, especially with so many separated homes. Of course, it's partly of what happened, just through the system we've been put in, but a lot of it has to do with us just pointing the finger at each other. If black women and black men were just to hold each other accountable and hold each other accountable for their actions and have a two-way accountability system, we would be so much better. I think that's a big reason why we're in the position we're in today, just because people are just too busy pointing the fingers at each other instead of both taking accountability for what they're doing.
Yeah,
I
and it's
think
personal
people,
responsibility, man. Personal responsibility, and that goes both ways. So just because we call out Larsa Pippen in her ways doesn't mean we don't call out a man doing shady stuff. It's equal
Yeah.
criticism. There's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with equal criticism. Here's what we can't do. I know a lot of us, not all, have been, programmed into, not criticizing women. And I get all that. But still, when you see wrong you see wrong. Wrong is wrong. What Larsa did with her kids, just embarrassing them like that, she was in the wrong. And that's okay to say that. As for us men, we need self-discipline.
Yeah.
Stay away from the adult entertainment. Meditate. You got to meditate, man. You got to keep your mind right and trust in the Most High that He will guide you. You have to have a vision, have a purpose to be the best human being that you could be through the years going by, so you can leave a legacy to your family. So when your days are numbered, you could look back and say, I did everything I could to be the best man I could be. That's our purpose. I want to thank you, brothers, for joining the live. Thank you, FYS Sports Debate. Support his channel. Thank you, CA3, DZ
Appreciate it.
King, True to King, Dante. Thank you, brother, for giving your opinion. Shout out to my brother, Revolution Radio. And let's do this, brothers. Let's try to be the best men. Let's focus on that. And I think everything else will follow.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah.
Sir.
Thanks, brother. Mhm.